So good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to the February 6, 2024 meeting of the Calvert County Board of Commissioners. At this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Kent if he would give us an invocation, please.
Be happy to. Good to see you all. It's been a while.
It has.
So I was reading my scriptures this morning, and one of the things that I was struck by was Nehemiah, and how he was asked to rebuild the city of Jerusalem. And before he did it, the first thing he did was he prayed. So I thank you for the opportunity to bring prayer into this place before you guys begin your business of helping people of Calvert County. So let us pray. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for the gift of this life, this beautiful new day. We thank you for the gift of the talents of these men and women that are leading your people here in Calvert County. We just ask, Lord, that you would continue to guide them and lead them in their work, that the resources you provide to us would be used to your glory and for the benefit of the people around us. And we just ask, Lord, that you would guide all the discussion today. Grant these men and women wisdom, that they would serve you and serve your people. And we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you, Pastor Kent. And Pastor Kent comes to us from the First Lutheran Church of Huntingtown. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be getting our mess cleaned up there for you.
That's okay.
Little construction, that's called progress.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is to approve the agenda as presented. Are there any corrections or additions to the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second. I have a motion and a second that we approve the agenda as presented. Hearing any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is public service announcements. Once again, we'd like to extend our condolences to Teresa Mulhern, who is a registrar with the election board, on the death of her mother, Jacqueline Hartman. And also, this coming Thursday is National Boy Scout Day. We want to wish them a happy birthday. It was on February the 8th, 1910, when William Boyce established the Boy Scouts of America under the laws of the District of Columbia. So for 114 years, they provided millions of Americans the opportunity to learn valuable life skills and to build character through service and leadership. And we want to take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers and the parents that actually get their kids involved in Scouts. You hear us talk about it all the time. We go to Eagle Scout ceremonies to see these young men and women making such good decisions at a young age. And as I always say at those ceremonies, none of that would be possible without those volunteers. So we want to thank them and congratulate them on 114th birthday. Also, we want to let everybody know we've talked about cuts that Maryland Department of Transportation has made to their budget this year and the impact they may have on our citizens. One of those cuts is to the commuter buses that a lot of our citizens use to commute back and forth to work every day in D.C. If adopted, these cuts will affect numerous routes in Calvert County. The routes that are to be discontinued could include Prince Frederick to Dunkirk, Suitland, and Washington, D.C. And routes with reduced trips could include North Beach to the Equestrian Center to D.C. and the Sutherland, Dunkirk to Washington, D.C. and the St. Prince Frederick to Washington, D.C. So MTA is going to hold 5 public hearings regarding the proposal. There are 3 virtual and 2 in person between March 18th and March 27th. There is a 30-day public review and comment period that is open through April 29th. You can get information about the proposal and the public hearings and how to submit written testimony to MTA is available at the MTA website, which is www.mta.maryland.gov/commuterbus2024. So those of you that ride those buses, even if you don't ride those buses, we are all impacted by the reduction in traffic on our roads because of those commuter buses. So we'd ask that you participate in this process to make sure our voices are heard. That's all the public service announcements I have at this time. So that brings us to a proclamation. National Entrepreneurship Director Oberg.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Julie Oberg, Director of Economic Development. Excited to be here today. Entrepreneurship plays a vital role in transforming economic growth by promoting innovation, fostering competition, creating jobs, and providing financial stability. Young entrepreneurs in particular have a unique opportunity to harness technology and become agents of change in our community. Today, we've got members of Huntingtown High School's Future Business Leaders of America. Last year, they held 2 amazing business fair events and connected with over 60 local business owners, and they plan to do another one this spring. These job fairs encourage students to explore future career opportunities and also allowed business owners to network and potentially hire younger workers. Supporting these students provides them with opportunities to become entrepreneurs and contribute positively to Calvert County's economic growth and development. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Orlandi to come up to the mic and the FBLA students to introduce themselves and accept the proclamation. Come on up.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ms. Oberg, for the support of the Department of Economic Development. We definitely could not do anything without you guys. But I have with me our officer team. We are missing one. Taylor Webster was not able to make it. But we have Kaylee Wiseman, Tyler Griffith, Mariah Wiseman, and Greg Proctor, who have all been integral parts in putting these events together that have been really successful in connecting our students at Huntingtown with the community, especially our business community here and our business leaders. We do plan to do another one in the spring with the intention of providing some of our students, not only at Huntingtown, but at all 4 county schools with job opportunities, internships, and just connections. So thank you guys for your support and all that you do.
Thank you. If you guys would step up, introduce yourselves, say what you want to say.
Hi, my name's Tyler Griffith. I've been a member of FBLA for 3 years now, and I've just enjoyed coming together with all the people, getting to know new people with these business fairs, meeting all these new people, and yeah, so thank you.
All right, thank you. Come on up.
Come on up.
You're not going to get away that easy. Come on up here and stand by him.
My name is Kaylee Wiseman. I am a senior at Huntingtown. I've been a part of FBLA for 2 years now, and I'm just very grateful for all of the opportunities this club has provided me with.
Come on up.
Hi, my name is Gregory Proctor. I'm also a senior at Huntingtown High School. I've been participating in FBLA for the past 3 years, and I just love how with FBLA I'm able to connect with the community and just get a head start on the business life and kind of just learn the professionals around it.
All right, what kind of business are you going to open?
Ooh. I don't know, sports, something in sports.
Sports related?
I like that.
All right.
My name is Mariah Wiseman. I'm also a senior at Huntingtown, and I'm the president of Future Business Leaders of America. I have been a part of FBLA for 4 years, but the first year was on Teams meetings with Mr. Orlandi. But I think the business fair has been one of the best things that we've done as Huntingtown. As an FBLA department, we had so many people coming out to network with us who we now have coming in as guest speakers and new people just helping out with everybody. And we made a lot of those connections from the help of the economic department.
Thank you. So, sounds like some of these are going to be our future business owners here in Calvert County, right? Let's hope so. All right, I'm going to read a proclamation. Whereas the week of February 10th through 17th, 2024 has been congressionally designated as National Entrepreneurship Week. Whereas National Entrepreneurship Week is a celebration of entrepreneurship that uplifts core values of education, diversity, equity, inclusion, and collaboration needed for the growth of entrepreneurs. Whereas most of the new jobs created throughout the United States in the past decade have come from the creative efforts of entrepreneurs and small businesses. And whereas local entrepreneurs serve as models of success to others in the community because their success demonstrates an opportunity for others. And whereas Calvert County recognizes and supports entrepreneurship as an economic equalizer crucial to the long-term growth of local communities, the state, and the nation, National Entrepreneurship Week provides Calvert County an opportunity to celebrate and support entrepreneurs within our community. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Calvert County Commissioners that the week of February 10th through 17th, 2024 be known as Entrepreneurship Week in Calvert County. Be it further proclaimed that we encourage all citizens to be mindful of the role that small businesses play in their lives. given under our hands and sealed this 6th day of February 2024, signed by all 5 county commissioners. There you go.
Squeeze them in.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. Good job.
Next item on the agenda is an award from the Employee Recognition Committee for the Employee of the Year. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ashley Wilkerson, the acting chair of the Employee Recognition Committee. We're here today to recognize the Employee of the Year, Robert Denton, Technology Services Infrastructure Manager. Robert is being recognized for not only his exceptional technical services and deep understanding of our county's history, processes, and procedures, but also his charismatic presence that shines through every interaction he has within technology services and beyond. Robert Denton.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Denton, Infrastructure Manager with Technology Services. I just want to take a moment to thank my colleagues. I wouldn't be up here today if it wasn't for their support. While it's my name on this award, this is not an individual award, and I just want to make sure I recognize them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up.
Yeah, come on up. You've been up here before.
Stephen Carrera, Director of Technology Services. I spoke a couple of times recently about the effect that Rob has had across the county. And as you're well aware, technology is interwoven into everything that we do within the county. Without technology, I believe the county would struggle to function. And Rob is a key part of that, responding to things 24/7, always with a smile on his face. And the impact he has had has been felt widely, not across the county government and in other agencies as well. So it really is no surprise to me that Rob has got Employee of the Year. I don't know how it took him so long. I would also like to add, though, that he needs to get more Team Excellence awards because I have more than him.
Dang.
But he truly is a great team player, and we are so lucky to have him in technology services, as well as quite a few other outstanding people. Yeah, well done, Robin. Thank you for your efforts.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Jones, Deputy Director for DPW of General Services. It doesn't come as to a surprise to me that Robert actually got Employee of the Year. He and I have been working very closely together over the last couple of years since he's been promoted. And even before that, he was one of the few individuals that answered the phone all the time, responded, got things done. When you came to Robert with something to do, it was, it was like tag team, and we were getting things done. So I really appreciate working with him. And again, as Stephen probably didn't say, is that he had to be tired of me telling him how great Robert was when he first got promoted, because I told him, I said, dude, that guy is, he's a good guy. So congratulations, well deserved. They got it right. Thanks.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bob Brandt. I'm the Acting Director of Parks and Recreation. I had the pleasure of working with Rob on many projects. It was funny, in the description it said charismatic, and they couldn't be any more accurate. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always pleasant to work with. It does not matter what question I ask, what I try to stump him with my lack of expertise in technology services. He has an answer. We don't wait. There's no delay. He's always responsive. More importantly than the project work, daily operations. We're open 364 days a year for business, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Mr. Denton has called me or texted me after hours, evenings. He hasn't hit me on a holiday yet, but I know it's coming. We run constantly, and he is always there. We lose connectivity. We can't run a charge card. We're so forward-facing. Mr. Denton's on it. More often than not, before the team lets me know what's happening, Rob has already called me or texted me and taken care of the problem. He tells me what the plan is, and it's executed without flaw. So, Rob, thanks. It's a pleasure. It's truly my honor to be up here to recognize you, so well-deserved.
Thanks, Bob.
Hey. Congratulations. I wanted to be up here last month when you got your award because we have so much to say. Our senior centers had been waiting for, and many of you know this, for a while for decent Wi-Fi, for decent security systems. And I know when I came on, that was a priority. People had talked about it. As soon as Rob was put on the task, done. Like, it happened so fast. He's very responsive, communicated well with our team. I was able to telework at the North Beach Senior Center so I could do a site visit last Friday. And I haven't had the chance to really do that and just, be there with my computer and tie into the Wi-Fi. So thank you. You've given us the ability to do a lot more and for our seniors to do a lot more. So I know from Ed and I, we're just super appreciative.
Thank you.
Good morning, Cynthia Harris, Deputy Treasurer. Robert, you really deserve this, and I want to say, when you first started coming to our office, I wanted to know why they were sending the baby of the bunch. And then when you came over, you had on a polo-type shirt and khakis. I said, now he's wearing a school uniform. What in the world? But you showed up for us at our most critical times when the printer didn't work, when we were in the middle of tax sale. So I thank you, Robert. And he's also my daughter's classmate. That's another reason I was like, why are they sending him? At first, that was my thought, and sometimes it came out of my mouth. And then it changed to, call Robert, call Robert, call Robert. So I thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Good morning, Burgess Wood, Court Administrator. I've had the opportunity to work with Robert on many occasions. I want to echo what everybody else said, but also want to say that I can throw something out there for Robert that I could have probably handled, and he's got a million things on his plate, and he won't take it back. He won't give it back to me. He's like, I got it. So I give you kudos for everything you do, man. You're recognized, as you'll see people speaking up here today. Just keep doing what you're doing. Stay humble, all right?
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner Sheriff Cox. Rob, and congratulations, like everybody else said, throughout the whole departments here in Calvert County, well-deserving. On my end, we work 24/7, not just the deputies out there. We have all that technology, like Mr. Steve said, and you're on it. And the thing about me as the sheriff, I can call you anytime, and you pick up and you fix everything that we have, and you're really a real asset to me as a sheriff, and I just want to say congratulations. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Andrew Miller, Computer Services Supervisor of Asset Management Team. We've had a lot of people that are over top of Robert. I'm underneath Robert, so anyone above Robert can say how great he is when he's getting this award, but when it comes to his supervisors below him, it takes a little bit more to impress us. We've always got to make sure that Robert stays humble and we keep him honest. But so I just wanted to say thank you to Robert. There couldn't be anyone that's more deserving of this award. Not only has he done everything that everyone has said before him, but he's also fostered an amazing, amazing relationship with not only myself, but with my counterpart as well. A lot of you know me. Gosh, it really can't be easy to supervise me, and he does a fantastic job. That was it. Thanks, Robert.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sergeant J.D. Denton with the Sheriff's Office. This is my little baby brother. I'm just going to speak on behalf of Lacey, his wife. A lot of people receive awards in the county and stuff like that, but what doesn't go mentioned is what happens at home to allow him to be at work almost 24/7, it feels like, because I'm his neighbor, so we do a lot of dinner times and stuff like that together. So he's like late for dinner, and we always got to wait up for him. But Lacey and his kids putting up with his long hours and all that stuff. Very proud of him. Very emotional time for me right now. Fun trivia fact, though, I did receive this award 20 years ago, so I think we are the first brother duo. But very proud of you, brother. I love you.
All right. You got family you want to bring up for the picture? Rob?
Come on back up.
Yep, come on up for a picture.
You got any money left? Paid all that people say all the time.
How big is that check?
I don't know, it's really heavy, you might want to come give it to me.
Just give it to
Your daughter's getting more TV time than the commissioners. This is my daughter had her daycare birthday party today. This is 20 years from now. Thank you. I got me crying on TV.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Good.
Congratulations, Robert.
That brings us to another award from the Employee Recognition Committee. Ms. Ashley?
Yes, again, I'm Ashley Wilkerson, the acting chair for the ERC, the Employee Recognitions Committee. Our next award is for the Pride and Quality Award for Sherry Ogden. She's the office assistant to switchboard operator in technology services. Sherry's extraordinary efforts have led to significant cost savings and enhanced operational efficiency within Calvert County government. Despite her primary role as a switchboard operator, Sherry went out of her normal scope of duties and exhibited exceptional, innovative, and dedicated by undertaking a malicious audit of overcoming 400 government telephone lines. This task was complex due to the fact that these lines included phones, alarms, elevators, and fax machines. Through her comprehensive review, Sherry identified 45 unused lines and promptly terminated them, which resulted in a direct cost savings of approximately $17,553 for a 12-month period for the county. This innovative not only reflects Sherry's keen eye for efficiency, but also her unwavering commitment to prominent resource management. Sherry's commitment to understanding optimal use of county resources is truly commendable. She exhibits operational efficiency by streamlining the operational expenses through optimizing resource allocation. Her achievement have not only led to measurable cost savings, but have also positively influenced the public perception of our Calvert County government. Her commitment to financial responsibility and operational efficiency sets high standards for all Calvert County employees. Sherry's dedication and tangible results that are delivered, optimized, and resonated with an extraordinary efforts that the Pride and Quality Award seeks to be recognized. Sherry Ogden.
I just wanted to thank Stephen for recognizing me for what I did and putting me in for this award. I really appreciate it, Stephen.
Thank you, Sherry. My name is Stephen Pereira, Director of Technology Services. When I said you don't really need to make a speech, you just need to stand up and thank your director, that was a joke. So Sherry is, if you ever call the county, the friendly voice that you hear on the other end will be Sherry. She'll redirect your call and connect you to whoever you need to be connected with. She does a fantastic job. And I think she needs to be so proud of herself for this award, and I'm proud of this award. And the main reason is, within TS, we try to foster a culture of money saving, and it's very tough at the moment with the prices of software and technology skyrocketing. But we are saving money through our culture, and that is little things like tougher negotiations with vendors, just looking for overlapping software or overlapping processes that we can condense. And on top of that, little things like when we go to conferences, we carpool, because that embeds the culture that we want to be fiscally conservative and responsible with the taxpayers' money. And to quote Peter Drucker, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So when we do this and when we get that culture, people go outside of the line of their normal duties and save money. I mean, reducing the number of phone lines is not a simple task, because a lot of these phone lines are very critical when you're dealing with things like alarm lines. Just because you called it and it doesn't answer doesn't mean to say it's not a valid line. So going through and cutting all of the phone lines that Sherry has cut and saving the county annually $17,500 a year is no small feat. Well done, Sherry. You really deserve this award. Thank you.
Who do you have with you here today, ma'am?
Oh, here you go. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Sherry's fiance, Rick.
Her daughter, Katie. Is your
Cole, my grandson.
Cole, your grandson? Okay. All right, you ready for a picture? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, Sherry. Thank you.
How you doing there?
Yeah.
There you go.
Good. You guys are good. Yeah. Thanks.
Congratulations.
She said she's going back with her.
Oh. So the next item on the agenda is consent. There only is one item under consent today. Department of Public Works FY 2024 Strategic Development Fund, Prince Frederick Armory Pre-Development Grant Agreement and Budget Amendment. Is there any objection to this item?
None.
Hearing no objection, this item will be adopted as presented. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item 1, Department of Finance and Budget, Public Facilities, Fiscal Year 2025 Staff Recommended Capital Improvement Plan. Director Miller.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good
Morning.
I'm here this morning with, I'm Bruce Miller, Director of Municipal Finance. I'm here with Veronica. She's going to present the staff recommended public facilities capital improvement program or plan for $44,340,000. So with that, Veronica, if you would take it away.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Veronica Atkinson, Capital Projects Analyst. I'll read the memo. Background. The Department of Finance and Budget and Public Facilities will present a review of their proposed fiscal year FY 2025 6-year Capital Improvement Plan, or CIP, to the Board of County Commissioners. Discussion. The Department of Finance and Budget reviewed the Public Facilities FY 2025 through FY 2030 6-year CIP staff recommended budget totaling $44,340,105. The public facilities encompasses a range of projects, including county building HVAC replacements, roof replacements, repairs, renovations, and replacements of county facilities. The Public Facilities CIP also encompasses projects for the Calvert Marine Museum, libraries, and community and senior centers. The fiscal impact for the Public Facilities 6-year CIP proposed budget, $44,340,105, also includes $9,749,318 in grant funding. The county funding portion is broken out below. PAYGO General Fund, $7,420,984. Debt or bond, $27,169,803. Grants other, $9,749,318. Conclusion recommendation. This presentation is to prepare the BOCC for the 6-year capital improvement plan cost for public facilities and seek the BOCC direction on those projects. So today we'll go over the 6-year plan by agency. We will also review the FY25 CIP breakdown and with focus on FY25. And at the end, we will review the total FY 2025 CIP expenses and revenues. This is an overview of each of the agencies with their FY 25 costs or expenses and their 6-year proposed expenses. The FY 25 proposed expenses are $14,921,756. Again, the 6-year, $44,340,105. We'll continue with the presentation and break down each of these projects. Our first set of projects are Commissioner Hart's favorite, HVAC replacements.
You know, you went there. I let you slide on slide 3, but since you wanted to do that,
You weren't here last week. I had no one, so I had to make up for it.
my question is, I see 6 years, $3,924,214 for 13 buildings. That must be a misprint. Has to
No,
be.
Commissioner, it's
Should be a lot
not.
more than that.
You mean that's not $4 million for each building, right? Because it has to
No.
be.
No, Commissioner.
Wow.
But we have Tommy Jones overseeing all
You know,
of this.
I just know I'm slow, you know, and for 9 years I've asked that same question. I don't understand how on the county side over here, there's not just $4 million in engineering plans alone. You know, I mean, that seems to be a standard, and then I'm told in 15 years you got to throw the unit away and do it again. I just must be misreading it, that's all.
No, Commissioner, you're reading it correctly.
Wow.
Do you have any questions about any of the specific HVAC replacements?
The public safety building moved to Main Street, and prior funding for the $966,000, what was that for?
I think it's for the old public
The old
safety building, one on
the old
Stafford Road.
building?
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Jones, Deputy Director for DPW of General Services. So right now, 215, I think it's 215 and 315 was Stafford Road where public safety is currently at. That actually is considered the work facility and where the backup 911 EOC is staffed at. Those units down there are right around 30 to 33 years old. They're getting to a point now to where some of the parts are obsolete. We're not going to be able to purchase them, you know, as we go through. We're actually, in some cases, have actually made parts to continue for it to work. The prior funding to that, as we had last year, we were doing it in phases because the whole project, as you can see, was $2.4 million, I think, for the whole thing to be redone. So through that process, we phased it in instead of just having a big lump sum dropped in. So the prior funding for that is actually for the design part. So we'll have it redesigned to current standards, you know, more efficiency and everything. And then after that, the balance is actually to do the construction.
Yeah, it even includes design? You sure
And-
you didn't
yeah,
miss something
design.
there?
Yeah.
I'm quite sure that You had to have missed something. I mean,
Tommy's
I
a
mean-
very good negotiator. What
you know,
can we
that's
say?
what it is. That's what it is. I was wondering, you know what? I make a motion that we make Tom the head negotiator on developing plans for these units. Might save us millions of dollars.
I'm trying.
There's no second to that motion.
Oh, boy. Well, I will keep trying, you know. Maybe by year 37, I'll figure it out or something like that, you know.
Thank you, Tom.
He's buying window units at Home Depot.
Fans.
Probably fans. Our
Any
next-
other questions?
Yeah, sorry, were there any other questions on that slide?
No.
Thank you. Our next slide covers the boardwalk and wharf repairs for Solomon's Boardwalk and Causeway. It also lists numerous county service buildings that are in need of roof replacements. Do you have any questions on any of these projects?
I do. The Causeway, we're responsible for the Causeway. Wouldn't the state be responsible for that?
Good morning, Commissioners. J.R. Cosgrove, Director of Public Works. So the way the Causeway works, the county owns everything but the bridge and the abutment of the bridge itself. So as you leave the bridge and head out towards the river, there's a timbered bulkhead, more or less. The county does own that. So the $500,000 in FY25 covers looking at the design, redesigning the timbered section of the causeway, along with looking at the bulkhead on the northern parking lot there also.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And you, JR, you think that FY '26 is going to be the total price on that project, or less or more?
From some studies that were done a few years ago, that we bumped it up a little with escalation. That's what we're thinking, just for the causeway side and the northern part around the parking lot, because that's the worst section right now. And then in the out years in 30, we're thinking we can probably push off the remaining part of the boardwalk and have additional design done out in FY30 for the remaining part of the boardwalk and bulkhead.
And how about the bridge itself? What condition is that in?
I'd have to pull some records from State Highway, because I know they do bridge inspections every couple of years. But I haven't heard from the state saying it's in dire need of replacement or anything. So from what we see, it looks like it's holding up pretty good.
Have we asked for help with that through the state?
On the causeway side?
Yes.
No, we have not.
Okay.
Just while you're there, are they currently inspecting the 231 bridge?
I believe so. Yeah, they usually come around, every 2 years you gotta do major bridge inspections. So ours is coming up in March this year for ours, just FYI.
I just missed that this morning.
Yeah.
I was very grateful.
I caught it yesterday.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the next slide. This slide covers repairs, expansions, and replacements for the county facilities. There's a list of buildings here, getting different things. Do you have any questions about these projects?
So just for people that are looking at the first item under the election board expansion in the Dunkirk area, we're proposing to put a building up at Dunkirk Park that would provide for elections moving forward. We would use that building for other uses when it's not, but it's mainly to provide a location in Dunkirk for elections, but be a community use otherwise. So that's what it's Dunkirk Park. That's what we're doing. Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner Hans.
And I do have one more question. What about the transfer station? Anything you could give me on that one?
Sure. Jennifer Moreland, Director of Community Resources. We've identified potential locations this past year in our feasibility study, which estimate for acquisition, design, and construction between $2.9 million to $3.1 million. Next step is selecting location and appraisal, environmental, and a Title VI equity analysis. Majority of funding will be state, federal, and federal capital, and 10% match is required of the county. So next year will be that analysis process, acquisition, and concept design, followed by final design and construction between FY26 and FY27.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that project's going to be about $3 million, but the county's only going to have to put up 10%.
Correct. That is all that's required. Thank you.
A lot of the grant funding I talked about in the memo is with Jennifer's projects.
Yeah, Jennifer's very good at getting grants for her projects.
She really
I have a
is.
wonderful staff, and they're very, very seasoned grant writers. Yep,
Good, thank you.
thank you.
And people, oh, go ahead.
I have a question about the sheriff's new facility. The $500,000 in fiscal year 2025, is that for the design of the building?
Jared Cosgrove, Director of Public Works again. That $500,000 over an FY '25 was put in back in September when we started developing the 6-year CIP, when there's talk of having a substation in the north and south for the Sheriff's Department. We've resolved that since then. So we can leave it for design of the future Sheriff's Department, or it could probably be reallocated if need be.
I was just curious because it looks like the build will start in 2029, conclude in 2030. So I was curious as to why it was 4 years previous to that we'd be doing a design.
But that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that the sheriff's new facility is only gonna cost 2.6 million.
That's for the AC.
So,
No.
What you don't see
No.
is the,
So
that's to
what I-
design the HVAC for the new building.
what's not in the 6-year, in this 6-year ICP is the out year for that, the rest of the construction cost.
Yeah, just don't want anybody to look at this and think that we're gonna build a new sheriff's
Sure.
office for $2.6 million.
No.
But in 29 and 30, that's what I mean, is that's the money to get the building started.
Yeah, that's to get started. That's to finish out the design.
Oh, so it's going to cost $2,600 to finish out the design?
2.6 million.
No,
2.6
So you're probably
million.
looking at roughly what we've been seeing is around $1 million for design. So,
Okay.
and then the rest would be banked for the, starting to the construction fund.
There's why we got hard architect.
Okay. So that's the design, the architect, and to get started.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, and also people will notice, the county courthouse renovations and upgrades. Once we move out of this building and the court system takes over the building, there's gonna have to be renovations and improvements made, so those are also estimates. I don't think that we have any definite, so those are just plugs.
That seems high. Really
That's
does.
probably just for design
Oh,
to,
yeah.
Oh
for
my
what they're gonna
gosh.
need.
Things will have to be put back, and
Yeah,
it's going to
'cause
be.
they're gonna rearrange offices and
Okay. So it could be more expensive.
it could be.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they've been saying 5 million, but that's just a swag. Until they really sit down and determine what those needs are gonna be.
Isn't it funny though, you know, you throw 5 million, 10 million, like saying $5 or $10, you know? It's just, it's insane the amount of money to do anything,
Anything,
to do anything.
any little thing, so. But the CIP is written in pencil.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Good?
Okay, good.
I think so.
Thank you. Our next slide is Calvert Marine Museum. These are their CIP projects that they are requesting for the 6 years. We have Jeff Murray, who can answer any questions you may have about any of these projects.
I have a question. The historical document relocation, where's it going? What does it involve? Then when you relocate it, what will replace that space?
So the historical document relocation is actually a collection storage building.
Okay.
I have it on my list as Maritime History Storage Facility. That is a building, so we are asking for that building to be constructed on county land up at Brooms Island, at the Brooms Island Road facility, to replace a building that we were asked to vacate. It's for maritime history collections, boats, all kinds of different artifacts that are maritime history related. We vacated a building at the Appeal Sweetwater facility at the request of the county for, I think it's for water and sewage projects. So this would replace that building. We would not need any,
Additional funds?
well, I'm sorry.
You won't need any additional funds, 450,000 should do it?
Well, we own the land, so we do think
Okay.
that 450,000 would do it, yes.
Okay, okay.
That's a little build.
How,
It is a little build.
how large is that, Jeff?
Sorry? 5,000 square feet, thank you.
5,000 square feet.
Which would be equal to what we vacated.
So Jeff, we talked about the Tennyson Hall replacement. It's right now in 26. You want to push that further or leave it where it's at?
Yeah, I think we can push that further out. The Tennyson has other issues, but the whole replacement is probably at least 3 to 4 years away, so we can push that out.
And then the Coast Guard brick building, that's at Cove Point. What is that money? What are those monies for?
So could I call up Deputy Director Green, and she can
Okay.
address that? But the Coast Guard brick building, I will say, is a building that we just gained control of in the last 18 months. And it was the final building on that site that was turned over to the county by the Coast Guard, but I'll let
Okay.
Rochelle speak to that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rochelle Green,
Morning.
Deputy Director. The Coast Guard building maintenance includes a roof replacement, a minor interior demolition, gutters, downspouts, fascia, flashing. It's just been, it's regular maintenance and upkeep that has been neglected for a few years.
Okay, thank you. And the Maritime Hall exhibit fabrication, what is the 50,000 for? Is that for the design?
Yes, it is for, go
Yes, that's a state bond for design of the new exhibit spaces.
Okay, so the total cost will be 350,000?
We hope.
You hope so? Okay, thank you so much.
We might as well talk about security upgrades. You talked about everything else.
I mean, talk about security upgrades. The Marine Museum campus is, I think, among the final buildings to be allocated the Genetec system that we've upgraded to around the county. There's money in there for 3 years. I would actually defer to Tom Jones because he knows a lot more about this project than I do.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Jones, Deputy Director of DPW General Services. Currently, the way that we have the process going for the security, the current system that's in place is on a Windows 7 operating system. It's obsolete, or if it goes down, it will be obsolete. So anything that secures at that time will be dead or null and void. So we're going through, it's a 3-phase process that we're doing right now. We have stage 1, which is the admin building, and this, if you, for lack of better words, the brains of the unit will be in the museum itself with just a few doors. This is phase 2 of it, which will include a lot more of the doors and a couple of the smaller buildings on the outreach. And then in year 3, it will be complete, the whole process to where the whole system, the whole campus will be on Genetec.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I think that completes the list.
Yes, it completes Calvert Museum and their.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Our FY 2025 CIP is $801,250, and the 6-year is $3,087,500. Our next slide covers libraries, community, and senior centers.
Okay, I have 2 questions. The bookmobile shelter, I can assume that will be taken off the list, the 72,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Carrie Wilson, Executive Director of Calvert Library. Yes, Commissioner Grasso, we found alternative housing for the bookmobile, so that money can not be in next year.
That's great.
It's already funded.
That's great. And then the Prince Frederick Lighting Program, it was my understanding that Tom Jones was working on this. What do you need?
Yeah, that's another good point, Commissioner Grasso. Buildings and Grounds has worked on all the lights that they can do, so the total price tag for this project should be lower than what was estimated in the CIP, because that was based on a bid before some of that work was done.
Okay.
So when we're able to get that rebid, we should be able to correct that number here before the final CIP budget goes in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions about any of the other?
I don't think so. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Our next section covers community and senior centers.
Jennifer?
So I'll start with the Calvert Pine Senior Center renovation. We've completed construction drawing specification phase and are currently in architectural review for that. And there was some additional geotech needed, so we're planning those borings now. Permit submission will happen soon. So basically, the project is 1/3 of the way complete. We will be bidding for design over the summer, and construction estimates to take between 8 to 9 months. We might have material acquisition impact timeframes as you've seen with other projects. So the estimated completion is summer of 2025. We will likely need to close the senior center for a small period of time during construction, just for safety reasons. But so far, this project is projected under budget, even without that additional $800,000 CDBG grant. So it's going really well. And we can look at additional phases for construction and renovation in the future and get a CDBG grant at that time. But right now, we're doing the core renovation projects that we need, which is expanding, doing the infill for both those courtyards and expanding our staffing space for our case management staff and expanding fitness space.
There's grant money in that?
Yes, we have an $800,000 grant, state capital grant for senior centers.
And there's a grant for 85 Main Street, too?
Yes, that's really fully grant funded for design and construction. And so, I have Jacqueline Calvert here as well. She's my new deputy director. So if you have extensive questions on that, she can answer them. But we are moving forward with that project, have MOUs with agency partners executed. We did that a couple months ago. And starting the bid process in the next couple weeks for design and doing a procurement kickoff for that. So I will say community development block grant funding has higher procurement standards, so it's very important that we're all on the same page for that. So we remain in compliance. I know our county attorney will appreciate that.
And that's going to be completed in 2 different phases, Jennifer?
Yes.
85 Mount Main Street?
Correct. So we're focusing on the Mental Health Homeless Services Day program, which is on the base floor first. And then we'll be working on the emergency weather shelter after that.
And total completion on that project would be?
Are we at December? Here, I'll let you talk about that.
At this point in time, I'm thinking December 2025, just to give us enough time with the design and acquisition and, the design and procurement, because with the CDBG procurement processes, there is a little bit extra time and administrative burden, but we have experts who know what we need to do, so we're ready to do it right and get it done. It just takes a little bit more time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, you all do such a good job getting grant money. Thank you.
Happy to do it.
Okay.
So the library's community senior centers, the FY 2025 CIP, is $2,114,121. The 6-year CIP is $13,546,621. This completes the public facilities CIP review. So our total public facilities for FY 2025, again, is $14,921,756. And our 6-year is $44,340,105. I have a blank screen. Guess one of my things fell off. So the next meeting is on the 13th, right before Valentine's Day, and we will be back with recreation, natural resources, and the golf course.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is old business. Item 1, Department of Planning and Zoning Forest Conservation Tree Coupon and Grant Report for 2023. Ms. Pleat Tam, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. May I approach the bench?
Sure. This is not a court of
She
law.
said gavel you got back there, didn't she?
Good morning, Commissioners. Amalia Fleet-Tan, Department of Planning and Zoning, Environmental Planner 3, and I have with me
Colleen Anglin, Department of Planning and Zoning, Environmental Planner 2.
I'm here to give an update on this past year's program for the Native Tree Coupon Program and the grant program. This was a program using funds generated by developers where residents could plant trees following state regulations. And I brought with me just a copy of the coupon that some of the residents might have seen at participating nurseries and on our website where more information can be found. It was for $35 off per tree, and you could use it in conjunction with the state coupon for a total of $60 off per tree. So background. The Department of Planning and Zoning proposed a native tree coupon and grant program to the Board of County Commissioners on January 19th, 2023. The funding comes from fees in lieu of developers outside of the critical area, not reforesting or afforesting on or off-site, and not buying forest conservation transferable development rights. Per the county and Maryland regulations, this fund may only be spent outside the critical area on reforestation and afforestation, maintenance of existing forests, or urban tree canopy goals. This fund may not revert to the general fund. Discussion. The Native Tree Coupon Program. In calendar year 2023, $3,592.99 was spent on 112 trees. This is approximately 1.7 acres using 661 square feet per tree. The coupon program runs from March through November 20th. Hunting Creek saw the most trees planted when looking across the county's watersheds. To promote survivability, staff will send tree care postcards beginning in March 2024, just to remind folks that you planted this tree, do some regular maintenance to really ensure the survivability of that tree. 10 trees are planted in the critical area. Now, Calvert County charges higher fees than the state requires, so that these 10 trees may be absorbed. Again, per state regulation, these trees can only be planted outside the critical area. We need to report to state DNR, this was the amount spent, this was the trees that we got for that, outside of the critical area. Now, because we do charge more than the state, we can absorb those 10 trees easily. And again, so a minimum of 0.27 planted acres was required for the amount that we spent per Maryland Department of Natural Resources. If this program is rerun in 2024, staff would like to do the following changes. We'd like to increase outreach on where is the critical area in Calvert County, and really make sure that residents understand that this program is only for outside the critical area. Staff would like to involve more nurseries. We reached out to 14 nurseries within the county, and we got 5 responses that they were willing, 5 nurseries to respond that they were willing to participate in this program. We'd like to just make sure that all the nurseries in Calvert County can benefit from this program. And finally, for simplicity's sake, staff will change the coupon from a maximum of 2 coupons per customer with 3 trees per coupon to just 1 blanket coupon worth 6 trees. That was just, it evolved and we didn't have time to go back and change it before it had gone to print. That is the coupon update. There was also a grant program. No applications were received for either Trees for Streams and Slopes grant or the Plant a Forest grant. Again, this was the first year. We'd like to increase outreach on that if this program is approved to run again next year. And then finally, other plantings. Staff worked with Departments of Parks and Rec and spent $11,423.38 on, that should be 32 trees, apologies, that's a typo, not 22 trees. 22 trees were planted at the Dunkirk Park, and the remaining were planted at the Chesapeake Hills Golf Course. Now this, because this was a specific planting to match the existing landscaping, they were looking for white fringe trees, red buds, and arbor vitae. So we sourced those trees from local and nearby nurseries. And based on the price quotes we got, we went with a Calvert County nursery, and that included site preparation, sediment, soil amendments. In the case of the golf course, we had to remove damaged trees, so that was cutting that down and removing that, and making sure that the site was prepped for planting, and of course delivery costs. So when you factor that into this cost, it comes out to around just over $300 a tree. Fiscal impact, the county spent $15,016.37 from the organizational budget account between the coupons, the grant program, which was flat, and then the plantings with Parks and Rec. Conclusion recommendation, the Department of Planning and Zoning, requests the VOCC to review the program and if appropriate, approve the native tree coupon, Trees for Streams and Slope grant, and Plant a Forest grant programs for the calendar year 2024. Are there any questions or concerns?
So can you tell me how the grant program works?
Sure.
And why we didn't get any participation in that?
I believe it was the first year that we had run this program, and we need to push communications on it. It's also, it is more involved than just planting 6 trees using the coupon.
Okay.
You have to provide a photo of your site, planting program, some tree care. So I think it's a little bit less accessible than just a simple coupon program.
Did we pay 10%, 20, what percent of the trees did we pay with the grant program? So if somebody wanted 10 trees planted, we gave them how much money?
If someone were to approach and want 10 trees planted, if the site were appropriate, we would pay for those trees.
Oh, okay.
It also has a stricter requirement, so the grant programs were aimed at people with a larger area. So if you wanted to plant like a 1/4 of an acre or so, which would be more than 6 trees. So the coupon, sort of everybody outside of the critical area could participate in. The grant programs are towards people who have a little bit more land, and it would be a little bit more involved than just picking up 6 trees from Wentworth and sticking them in their backyard.
Yeah, and it does also include, an easement on your, or not an easement, but an agreement filed with your property. And if you do take those trees down, then you do have to repay the funds used for those plantings. So it's not paying for the trees and walking away, and then residents can harvest them later.
That would take a long time. So,
It wouldn't be my preferred way to make money.
what kind of outreach did you do?
We had Facebook posts, we had flyers at the nurseries themselves, and we had, we were the flat, on the homepage of Planning and Zoning for a few months, I believe. It promoted
There was like a banner on the webpage.
So for those of us that, don't do that stuff a lot, we should look at opportunities to do a mailing, maybe, an add-on to something else, because people may want to plant a tree, but think that it's too costly and not go to a nursery to look. You know what I'm saying? So only the people wanting nurseries are, really trying, but
Certainly.
we might generate some interest if we sent the coupon or the information out.
Could see
Might
more
trigger
very involved.
somebody to do that. And what is the average, this is probably a loaded question, what's the average cost of a tree? How much of the tree are we covering with a $25 or $30 coupon?
So that was very interesting. It depends on the nursery itself. Some of the nurseries are a little bit higher budget, and some of them are lower budget. The lower budget nurseries, between the county coupon and the state coupon, you could get a free tree. So you could really get 6 free trees. And then with the higher cost nurseries, what would it be?
I saw trees up to, I would say, $100 to $200. There's a lot of like $120 trees. It also depends on species and the size that you're getting. So some species were harder for growers to have this year, and harder for people to source. And then
red buds are going to be very hard to get this year.
And then obviously the bigger size tree that you're buying, the more expensive they're going to be. But there were I did see some, like she said, some trees that people completely got away for free between the state coupon and our coupon, and then trees, over $100 for the bigger ornamental ones.
Did you,
Commissioner Cox, why are the red buds going to be harder to get this year?
Very high demand last year.
Oh, okay.
There was also talks that there was some kind of fungal disease. When we were reaching out for the trees at the park, I had a couple nurseries tell me their growers were having problems with survivability, specifically on red buds.
Oh,
And the state is promoting a lot of tree planting programs, so even the state nurseries themselves are running low on stock. It's not just a county issue. Across the state, there's talk about, where are you getting your trees from this year? You know, so you are starting to see nurseries even importing them from the Midwest and further afield to meet that demand.
So did you follow up with the nurseries that didn't want to participate in the program to ask them why?
Most of the time, it was they were not carrying trees normally, or they weren't carrying, you know, a lot of them do smaller plants. So your shrubs and your flowers and your stuff that you're planting annually or planting right up against your house. Some of the feedback we got was just they don't normally stock trees, like their property isn't that big, or their, you know, target market isn't that.
Because is there any, I mean, they just send you in the coupon, you reimburse them once they make the sale? Is that how
I
it
go
works?
to their nurseries once a month and then pick up their coupons. So this year, we did have one nursery that did not sell any trees, and I think that, again, a new program, and it maybe wasn't quite their bailiwick in terms of planting trees. Maybe that was more that they did landscape care. And then others were, I mean, they were using them every single month, just flying off the shelf. And then the remaining were a little bit hit or miss, and when I reached out to them to see if they wanted to participate again this year, they all said, everyone that we could reach said yes. Even the ones that weren't major sellers, they said it's still a good program. It's just, you know, we're wrapping our head around it and promoting more tree stock as opposed to smaller stock. But yeah, in terms of, we have 14 nurseries that we approached. Not all of them did sell trees. I did have one young gentleman tell me that he sold trees, but only at Christmas time, and I came to understand he was talking about artificial Christmas trees.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not something that we're going to promote with this.
They're hard to
program.
plant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't root if you cut them off
They
very well.
don't root. They do last forever. They just don't root.
But very minimal watering requirements.
So no thoughts to increase the coupon to,
Instead of 35 per tree to 40 per tree, we certainly could consider that.
I mean, we talked a little earlier about, we got plenty of money, and I hope you would increase outreach to make sure everybody knows
Absolutely.
that it's available.
Absolutely. And CMR has fantastic resources in terms of, like, even the movie theater spots. I'm not sure how much the radio ads cost these days. That's how I get my news, is through the radio. So, but yeah, certainly we can increase that outreach.
Yeah, because if that's, you know, like we said, I don't, even with the coupon, people might not be able to afford the tree once they go and price it. And we don't want the account to just keep building, that's not the intent.
Can we use some of the money for advertising that's in the fund?
We would have to get DNR approval for that, because that's, if you read the regulation, that would be a little bit of a stretch for forest
just ask.
maintenance. But that's a good idea. Certainly, if we can get a response from them
Maybe
regarding
you
that
said
question.
5% or 10% or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Thought escapes me.
CMR should be able to push it pretty good.
Sorry?
I said CMR should be able to push that out.
Yeah, and they have done, we
I
only
don't
use
recall
we
seeing
only
anything
use the
other than hearing
free,
about it here.
we only use the free avenues this past year.
Right.
But we can be more aggressive, certainly. The, if we were to raise the coupon, then it might involve refunding. We'd have to think about how.
Something to look into.
Yeah,
a thought.
certainly, yeah.
You have flyers, right? To promote the program, do we have them out like in our community centers?
The
or-
Environmental Commission was promoting at their table events. I
Cypress
don't,
Swamp.
that's, yeah, and the libraries and community
Libraries.
centers.
Just visible places that people might go and see it. And even the Soil Conservation Office. We're just trying to get more participation. The idea is not to just keep collecting money. I mean, developers are paying in lieu of planting trees, so our goal is to get the trees planted.
Right.
So,
Motion? Sure. I move that we approve the native tree coupons, trees and stream slopes grant, and planted forest grant programs for the calendar year of 2024.
Second.
that motion is second. Any discussion on that motion?
I would recommend they make those adjustments that we had talked about with the advertising with CMR and looking into maybe bumping the price of that coupon up.
She took notes.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, that brings us to public comment.
Thank you, sir. The board adopted a resolution in 1989 intending to maintain the order and decorum of the governmental process. A copy is found here to my right. And by Resolution 51-20, persons are welcome to address the Board of County Commissioners on any matter germane to the business of county government. Persons addressing the board shall refrain from statements, remarks, or conduct that is uncivil, rude, vulgar, profane, or otherwise disruptive to the conduct of the board's business. All speakers must identify themselves and whether speaking as an individual where you will be allocated 2 minutes or as the appointed spokesperson of a group where you'll be allocated 5. Nobody is attending virtually. The Ethics Commission has asked that we remind speakers of public comment that lobbyists include those who seek to influence public policy, and lobbyists must register in advance. Is there anyone here for public comment?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Joseph Cormier, and I'll be speaking on behalf of Calvert CCAC, the Special Education Citizens Advisory Committee. So 5 minutes, Mr. County Attorney, please, and thank you. A couple community announcements first. The Calvert Museum is going to have the Otter Trot 5K at 8 a.m. on March 23rd. It's a Saturday. Please check them out. And the Edward T. Hall Aquatic Center is going to have the annual duck race. Mr. Hart, I think you're going to wear a duck costume this year for
I
them.
heard something like that. When is that again?
March 23rd also. That is going to be at 3 to 5 p.m. at the Edward T. Hall Center. You can buy a duck for $5, and the $5 goes toward the Therapeutic Parks and Rec Scholarship Fund to help students with special needs to get the services they need to learn how to swim, because swimming is a life skill that saves lives. So please support the duck race and the Otter Trot. High school information nights. Huntingtown High School was last night, but Patuxent High School is tonight. CTA is on February 7th. Northern High School is February 8th, and Calvert High School is February 9th. These are all 5:30 at the respective high schools for incoming freshmen. Please check them out and get your information. Our next CCAC meeting is going to be next Tuesday, February 13th at 6:30. Virtually, we are looking for nominations for chairperson, vice chair, and our 2 at-large seats. If you're the chairperson, you don't have to come here and talk every week. It's just something I like to do. I want to thank Julie Machino and the Calvert County Family Network. We brought the Handle with Care program to them, and Ms. Machino jumped into it with both feet and hit the ground running and brought together so many people from the state police, the sheriff's office, the health board, all the things to make that program begin with fidelity here in Calvert County. So big thanks to Ms. Machino. I want to thank the sheriff's office for all that they do directing traffic for our buses in the morning. I passed them this morning at Sunderland and at Windy Hill. It's just tight getting in when those buses are stacked up in the morning, so thank you to the sheriff's office. You spoke about the commuter bus situation. We've got a lot of families who only have one car, and for them to have to drive into DC, it doesn't leave a vehicle at home for families with kids with disabilities and locked doctor's appointments, so anything we do for the commuter bus is a great help. We spoke about our CCAC Awards, going to be in March, at Huntingtown High School it's going to be on April 17th at Huntingtown High School. Nominations are accepted through March 8th, so please get your nominations in. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. And other than that, just funding. I know it's blueprint season, it's CIP season. We got to support our staff and our teachers and our school buildings. 10% of our school population are students with disabilities from, birth to age 21, and it could be as simple as a weekly speech therapist appointment or a medically complex child who spends a lot of their time out of the school because they can't function in a classroom because they're in a wheelchair, they need feeding support, all the things. So we just hope that you don't just say a dollar amount per child and that's it, because some of our kids need so much more support. So Dr. Anderson is doing really great things. We're doing that book study. We got 2 more to go. The Ross Green program on when kids can do well, they do well. So it's meeting those kids where they're at. When we talk about behaviors in the classroom, it's only in the last 25 years that we've really included kids with these special needs. And we just had a meeting last afternoon with the local interagency committee with infants and toddlers and child find and the health department and DSS. And they say that one of the biggest things they have right now is these kids are coming for evaluations for special education needs, but because all their needs are social and emotional, they don't necessarily impact their education goals. And so those kids aren't able to get services through special education. And I get that, but we need more early intervention services for that 3 to 5 group to get them ready for kindergarten. We need more local daycare providers to buy into this system, to anything we can do to support them, to have a teacher on staff and support these kids in the daycare setting to get them ready for kindergarten, first grade, so that when they're in that classroom, they have the skills in their toolbox to deal with it. And, we've all been hangry, we've all, had an issue, and it's, when a child is hungry, they're not ready to learn. When a child is, doesn't have shoes that fit or clothes that are clean or a loving, caring family at home, we can't fix all those things with a magic wand, but there are steps we can do as a county and a community to help bridge those gaps and fill that safety net in. So I appreciate everything you do as a county with the Family Network and, all the things we do. So please just keep supporting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm Myra Gowans, Calvert Citizens United, and 5 years almost have gone by since we started a lawsuit, Calvert Citizens United, about the comp plan. And the comp plan has evolved, and I'm here to let you know I'm very happy at the way our commissioners have stood up, you 5 commissioners have stood up, and the pledges that you made when we were campaigning, you have kept them foremost in your mind. I want you to know that there's a bill, and I know that our county attorney has talked to you about it, and Calvert Citizens United requested that Mark Fisher, Delegate Fisher, work with us. In the interim, we've talked to a number of other people, and there's a lot of cohesion here in the county, and I want to let you know that today. The Democrats and Republicans are working diligently behind us, supporting this bill. The League of Women Voters is going to testify for us. You have other organizations that are going to testify because they recognize that the county needs protection and that the citizens had a demand, and they didn't want our county destroyed by massive overriding growth. The other thing is the bill should come to you very shortly. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that all the citizens are watching. So I know you don't need to hear that because you all have been very good about changing the policies from the last board and some of the administration. So I do want to let you know that all 5 of the delegates and the senators for our county are supporting us. Michael Jackson, Senator Jackson, is going to put the bill over and the Senate side too. So everybody's working together. Everybody is ready to end this battle that we've had. And we hope that that will be won through the new zoning ordinance. And you must take pay immense attention to it because there are some things in there that could possibly defeat you and the citizens. So thank you for your time and thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Katie Blevins, and I'm speaking for myself. I was offered $3 million to go away. The county commission knowingly funded to the school district to keep me from going up against the system in order to prove terrible financial crimes proved in the school district, which have the capacity to destroy the county's bond rating. The county, unfortunately, doesn't deserve the bond rating, despite all good staff there are who have done their best. This pertains to a pedophile ring in Calvert County Public Schools and beyond, and the former sheriff's drug ring.
Ms. Blevins.
Excuse me,
Blevins,
sir, I'm
please.
telling the truth. Which show $38 million was spent by the old superintendent, Daniel D. Curry, to which Mike Evans, former sheriff, extorted in
Blevins,
order to
please.
look the other way on terrible crimes being
Defamation
committed
is
against.
not permitted during public
Pardon, sir, I'm telling the truth. That's not defamatory. $38 million. Those ledgers are on there. That supplied only the former sheriff's drug ring. Many more millions were spent. The former sheriff also extorted from the last superintendent. I'm not talking about the new superintendent. He's good. I'm talking about the old one. And I am accusing Steve Weems and Kelly McConkey, former
Ms.
commissioners,
Blevins,
Commissioners
please, every
Hart
time you
and
mention it,
Commissioners
please, would
Hands
you-
of being in on this. I am
Darrell,
again
would you
heart and
please-
hand.
Anyone else who'd like to speak in public comment?
Nobody online.
No, sir.
Thank you. That brings us to commissioner reports. Commissioner Cox.
Thank you, Mr. President. Keep in your prayers the Brady family again for losing another loved one this week. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Harlan.
I have nothing.
Commissioner Hart.
So Calvert Middle School had career day, and it was good to go out there and start planting seeds. 8th graders, and there was a lot of folks from all walks of life talking to the young folks, so that was really good. And then Optimist Club had their 50th year anniversary, and I'm 55. And so very early into what they got started with their sports programs, I was a benefit of. And I will tell you, we wouldn't have had sports when I was a child back then if it hadn't been for the people in the community there volunteering. I can remember Mr. O'Mara's blue truck coming down Roseby Hall Road and people running out and jumping in the back of the truck with the football equipment, and it's how we had sports. So I can't thank those people enough, and the people that are still in that organization trying to help. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Commissioner Rasso.
Yes, I attended my weekly MACO meeting, and that's really gonna probably triple this week. And I want to encourage everybody to come out to Jefferson Patterson Park this Saturday from 8 to 10. They're having a Hot for Chocolate 5K. And that's it.
Thank you. The only thing I have is I want to remind everybody about the Maryland Transit Authority public hearings on commuter buses. You can go to our county website. We'll have the information on there, but it's very important that you voice your concerns about the reduction in commuter bus service from Calvert County to Washington. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Okay.
Motion?
Motion. I move to recess to executive session pursuant to general provisions, Article Sections 3-305B, 1I, to discuss such matters with employees over whom the board has jurisdiction as is allowed by law. 8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second that we move into executive session. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.